So you think it's going to be a quiet day on Wall Street, right? Holiday week, people are going Christmas shopping. Well, they're going Christmas shopping, people. They're buying stocks. They're buying satellite stocks. They're buying Momo stocks. Big rally, continuation from Friday's wild expiration. If you didn't catch it with Triple D and Brent, we will give you the details from a really fun expiration and the follow through this week. There are good days to have an Ivan Feinseth on the show, and there are great days. Well, today's a great day. Ivan coming strong at 8:35 with his bullish predictions for 2026. The crew is here on pre-market prep. Let's go.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. And this is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
Okay, here we are in the green, trading at the highs of the pre-market session, inching our way towards that all-time high, up 28 handle, 69.15 and a quarter. The buck under a little bit of pressure, down 14 cents, 98.11, trying to clear that 200-day TLT in the red by 23 cents, 87.32. USO bouncing after making a new low for the recent move, up buck 40. 69.43. GLD ripping up nearly 2%, 7.01 at 406.02. SLV, that's up almost 3%, buck 73, 62.66. At Bitcoin, Basin at 85,000, up $2,200 at 90,260. These charts are brought to you by TradeStation. Chart, analyze, customize, all in one platform. Looking forward to working with TradeStation in the new year to find out all those important trading and investing tools. So let's bring on Dennis. Dennis, what a boring Friday. People leave, nothing going, but it was quad witch expiration. One of your favorite days of the year.
All kinds of action. The action was crazy. Let's bring up your charts here, Joel, and we can go through the closing action there, because there were gaps going all over the place. We were trading them live in the STN room. Had fantastic close. Had a fantastic weekend. Trading was really good. Brent running Santa Claus over the weekend. But let's talk those closing trades and bring the Brentster in here and say hi here too, because he's hiding in the background. But Brentster, come on up here.
Hey,
how you doing?
Doing well. Had a nice relaxing weekend, getting back into the swing of it. How was your guys' weekend?
No, it was good. Not a lot of snow, which is always good. Had to drive for my daughter's hockey tournament. The roads were fine. So no, everything was pretty fun. It was a neighborhood party. Lots going on. So 'tis the season. I'm trying to just clear my throat. I got a little tickle in the throat, so I was worried a little bit. My mom's got a sore throat there too, so hope it doesn't come back. But I tell you, 'tis the season for good stock trading. 'Tis the season for sicknesses, because everyone I know, my daughter's hockey team has 14 girls on it. 5 of them are sick. So it is just everywhere right now. So, and when you're going to see lots of people over the holidays, one thing is these illnesses are going to spread. So try to stay healthy, folks. I'm going to try.
Good morning, Triple D. Thanks for that. Back at you too.
Back to the Friday action. There was big moves here. Check out Meta on the close. I want to bring up this one. You know, you can look and say at the daily, it's like, oh, what's going on? But look in the last few minutes. Meta went from $671 down to $658.77 at the close. We're looking at that huge bar, just a huge sell imbalance knocking it down. Check out Apple going the opposite way. It was $270 with 3 minutes to go. Closed up at $273.67 and almost got to $274. Joel, you can point it out, you know, where at the 4 o'clock close, if you can bring it up there and show it, maybe you can like put a little dot or something for the action that we're seeing, because, you know, maybe make those charts bigger. You know, we got to obviously figure out how to draw on them better. We're going to put you on that in the new year. So Apple moving up. Microsoft was another mover. It was bouncing around. It moved up about $3 or $4 on the close. NVIDIA was kind of doing not much of anything, but it moved up a little bit as well. But then there were other littler companies like CV. Bring up this one. I don't know who in the STN room pointed this one out, but they're like, this got a huge bounce. I think it was JV. And that thing went from $10 to $13.23 on the close. It ran up 30% in the last 5 minutes. I don't even know what the stock is, but so there was some movers in little stock land as well. I did short the close, covered it after hours for a very good trade. Thanks to JV in the chat. Typically the way you're approaching these trades is fading those closing moves, because usually they move in a big direction and then they, give some of it back, or sometimes all of it back in some cases, because they're all based on order flow. But this was the rebalance. We had the quarterly rebalance, S&P, NDX. That was really pushing stocks along.
Dennis, why do people put orders in like that?
Well, they have to. So here's
they
the
have
issue.
to?
When you have forced trading, there is always opportunities for opportunistic traders, because they're chasing, they're rebalancing, they got to get these prices in on the close. And when you have forced trading like that, it pushes prices to where they don't want to be. Look at Carvana. Bring up CVNA, another one from Friday's close. Fell $15 in the last 5 minutes. 15 points fell in the last 5 minutes. That's 3% move. You see that big red candle? Maybe you can just move your ticker around it there, Joel, or circle it just so everybody's looking.
Yeah, man, it's sticking out like a sore thumb. I'll get the drawing. I mean, can't they? Is there any way around it? Because you and I are like so execution oriented and getting the best price and working thing. Isn't there anything that they could do at to get around it, or they just need that? They have to have that closing print no matter what.
Well, again, maybe there is opportunistic traders that are trying to get ahead of this. Maybe they're trying to work, the orders they know they got to sell. But no, I mean, the bottom line is, like, when you're indexing here, and that's the downside of being in some of these ETFs, is they need those closing prints. The quarterly rebalance, they need to be right on the close, and they need to buy or sell. So that gives traders an opportunity. So, I mean, if you're, a long-term investor, this is just noise. If you're a swing trader, a lot of it's just noise. If you're a scalper, this is like gold. We're giving you, like, if you're a short-term trader, short-term day trader, short-term overnight trader like myself, this stuff is gold. I mean, look at Berk.B, another one. You can just keep going. The charts go forever. Look at Berk.B on the close. Went from 499 to 494.5 in like the last minute, gapping down. So if you bring this one up, we're just getting Joel just to show the correct chart. You can see it there, actually. It's right there at that bar right there. Yes. 499 right there. He's trying to draw here a little bit quickly on the fly.
Well, also, if you look at the time, you have to look at the time and thing. You have to look at the time frame on the chart. 15-minute chart. This includes after hours action. So 1500 is 3 o'clock. The market closes at 4 o'clock. So if you look at the time and what we're talking about on the close, it really, you can see, right? And if I even going down, if I go to a 5-minute, I don't know, maybe you need a shorter time frame to see it, but you see 1600, that's the close. So this is the price action. So it's coming out in the last 5 minutes. This was the price action. We can point it out.
Yeah, it's leaking, and then it's not pairing off good enough. And then, that's the big move at the end. Like the meta, you can see the same thing. The violent gap down at the close. The violent gap down on Berk.B at the close. I mean, and then there was like stocks like Coke. Coke ran down like 40 cents on the close. I mean, those are more boring, but those are more stocks that usually, are, good fades. So, multiple questions here. How do you trade this? It's anticipating those extremes, or like I was saying, is the whole Don Bright envelope style on those closing trades, where stock is here, you throw some shorts up here, you throw some buy orders down here, and I mark them LOC, so limit on close, so I'm getting executed on the close. And if they gap down the close, I'm going to be long. On the CV one, it gapped up on the close, and I got short. So it worked out great. And when they're big enough, they'll let you pair them off almost right to the end, because they're looking for offsetting liquidity. So there's just opportunities for traders who understand these strategies. I mean, this is what I always talk about on our channel, is technical analysis is fantastic. There's some great technical traders. But if you go on Twitter, 98% of the content is charts. There's so much more than charts. We're trying to teach so much more. Charts are great. I love charts. I like to trade charts as well. But this stuff isn't about charts, Joel. The chart doesn't matter. We're showing you on a chart what it did. But I didn't make any money by looking at the charts. I'm looking at those imbalance numbers and saying, holy crap, there's some big buyers and sellers there, and there's going to be some gaps. I mean, when Apple runs up $3.50 in the last 3 minutes, that's not because the chart looks pretty, folks. It's because there was a huge buy imbalance, and the rebalance was obviously the driver there. So, just understanding more market mechanics will make you a better trader. And that's what we're trying to teach you on Pre-Market Prep and also on Stock Trader Network in the room.
And there's also like two approaches to the imbalances. You have the anticipatory, right? That like, okay, I'm getting out in front of this. I'm getting out in front of this, which you could do. And a lot of people are very successful at it. But sometimes someone could come in and offset that imbalance, and those people get caught. So what Dennis is trying to explain here is he'll wait and he'll shake. Okay, yeah, there's a big buy, but yeah, okay, good chance. I'm going to rely on the information that I get on that closing print, because if something happens that comes in to offset the imbalances, and they're pretty true, especially like on an expiration Friday, there's probably more times.
Yeah. Like Brentster does this great. He's looking, is it tracking with the imbalance, Brent? Like you're working with me, at the close when we're looking. And a lot of days you see a big buy balance and you're like, it's not tracking. So it's going to pair off. But if you see a big buy balance and stock's going up, up, up into it, there's a chance this might not get done at the price where, obviously maybe institution wants to get it done. And it's going to have to gap up on the close or even run up more. So it's all about how those stocks are tracking as well. I mean, we have some courses. We've taught some stuff on this. We have some of that in the Stock Trader Network as well. So if you're interested in this, this is good. I don't want to stick on this all day, obviously, but it's exciting trades. We're just trying to show you some different stuff, different opportunities. In a holiday week, when you can get a setup like that. And then, that which brings us into the setup that we have this week. I mean, we often see strength ahead of the official Santa Claus rally, which is the last 5 days of December, the first 2 days of January. That will start on the 24th, the official Santa Claus rally. But they are fully front-running the Santa Claus rally here right now in the last couple of days. All the Momo names probably started, honestly, again with Bitcoin holding up. On Friday, Bitcoin had the nice gap up day, and that really kickstarted a lot of Momo names. And you saw stocks like Nebius. NBIS had huge Fridays. I'm long Nebius, full disclosure. IREN, huge day, huge morning here. Like IREN trading up again here this morning, up 6% more. So the party does continue here for a lot of these, names that are very well followed in the Momo community, and the AI trade as well. Oklo, good day on Friday, nice bounce back, continuing the strength this morning. Circle, another one, recent IPO, showing good strength on Friday, continuing through the weekend here. We had a lot of these stocks through the weekend. You know how I love my weekend trade on Stock Trader Network, where I get long these retail Momo darlings, and a lot of times, and I believe Ryan Dietrich's stats are like 13 out of the last 15 or something like that weekends, we have actually gapped up at the open. So it's been working really consistently. Nothing works 100% of the time, but hell, if it's working 83% of the time, you can make a lot of money with that.
And the same thing with the index futures. I mean, just also liquidity is a little bit lower here. So all the people that were, that missed the dip last week, I think we had 3-4 down days in a row. They're like, oh, I just thought it was going to be a quiet, end of the year, not much going on. Now they're kind of chasing here, and I think you're seeing that. But things are setting up. Oh, just real quick, folks, reminder: half day on Wednesday, right? So if you're in, there's obviously no trading on Christmas Day. So if you're trading the options, if you're trading things, and of course they account for that and all the Greeks and everything.
Sure.
But short trading, I mean, you might see some premium in, let's say you took a flyer on the 27 calls and something like SoFi here. Those calls, it could go out the board at, let's say, 27.80, 27.85. The juice that they still have, the premium in those options is still there. So keep that in mind in this shortened trading week, and also shortened 2 weeks, really, because of the holiday falling again on Thursday. Not getting those days off for that President Trump wanted for us. But real quick, I just want to ask YouTube chat asking about Moderna. We like to take care of our YouTube chat here. And we talked about this thing has just been on a march here. Look at this, up to $36. I don't know how many up days in a row it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cleared the 200, cleared the 50. Moderna, I don't know.
Drugs have turned. We've been talking about the strength in drugs, and this is one of those old darlings that just started to get some life, and now people are interested here. I mean, you can't really call it a value trade anymore because they're actually in a cash burn situation, But, you know, this company at one time made a lot of money when everybody was getting the COVID shots. Now, not as many people are doing it, and they're having more trouble. But I mean, this is a stock that just sets up well, even into, like, you could almost have a little bit of like tax loss selling, you know, because this stock's been a terrible stock for a long time. Although with the recent comeback here, it's not down as much on the year as it was. So, you know, we're writing a list. We're doing it in Stock Trader Network in the room where we're getting ready for our January effect trades. This one would have been at the top of the list.
Yeah.
But now with the recent rally from 24 to 34, it's like, oh, it's happened. They got ahead of it. So I do think there's a little bit of that going on there too. But, you know, what do you think on the technicals on Moderna?
Well, you know, it's funny because we talk, I mean, the daily, you're like, whoa, wait a second. 24 to 34, I can't touch this thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But then, I mean, then you do a weekly time frame and you're like, whoa, look at this. We're just getting going here, right? With parties just getting started. And then you go to the monthly and you're like, oh, I mean, we've seen these stock. I mean, I don't, you know, hardly call this another Carvana or something, but we have seen some stocks hit these outrageous levels, come back under $5, under $4, under $3, under $2. Didn't Carvana get under $2 at one time in return? I mean, of course,
Eric Jackson saved the day.
Yep. I mean, it comes down to, yeah, well, the price action is dictating one thing, but, you know, are the earnings to follow? Are they coming up? I don't think we're getting another COVID situation. Where will be the catalyst? You know, where will the, you know, Wall Street, will the analysts start getting on it? But in these kind of situations, I know the person's asking about it. They're kind of like they're long. They're thinking time to ring the register. I mean, I know it's hard. You always want to sell into strength. You want to get that best possible price, but sometimes just saying, you know what, I'm going to give it some room. I'm going to let it move up. I'm going to let it move up. I'm going to let it move up. Sometimes you can get a price by just not trying to sell on the strength and letting things breathe. But there's a look at Moderna. The only thing I could give to somebody right now, if they had to have a level for today, I would look at the average daily range. I would look at the, you know, if it looks like it bottoms in the morning, 35.59. I mean, there's some highs in here, but really there's no major area sticking out where there's 3-4 highs in the same area.
The chat is talking my portfolio. You know, we've got multiple stocks here. And I've been jumping into some of these Momo names recently, but, you know, somebody's just asking, Lindsay was asking about Webull. I want to get your technical thoughts here too. I think this one sets up well into this week. I think it's one of those little retail darlings. I am long Webull, full disclosure, bought it recently here. I think it sets up like one of those stocks that sets up well. Actually, I had it on for a weekend trade too. So I put in like swing long and weekend trade here. I think there's room to 10. I think this sets up actually well from one of those stocks that hasn't had a great 2025. Maybe there would be some tax loss selling and then could actually have a January effect here too. But it's also one of those stocks that's really loved by the retail community. It's kind of in that Momo camp here. It's been beaten up. And you know what? I think a relief rally may be in store for Webull.
Yeah. I mean, traded up 16 cents. It broke a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-day losing streak. Broke a 7-day, and which we know stocks like to run, right? I'm not saying it's going to have 7 up days in a row. Big volume on Friday on the expiration. Couple highs at the 864, right at this 866 area. So this could be the one in charge. Market stays strong. You know, you look right instead of left. You forget about all the stuff on the left. You open up near the previous day's high, maybe touch the close and start to move. Nothing up to 983. Also, stocks like Bull that were, you know, $10, is $10 psychological level.
Yeah, I think it is psychological resistance. So it's maybe a logical target.
And I'm sure they're doing prediction markets now, right? I mean, are they getting into? I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you know, the cover Barron's, you know, Wall Street's new wager prediction markets. You know, it's they're getting into it. Robinhood.
Well, and if you want to get all fundy, and I wasn't getting fundy with it, you know, but if you want to breed, will continue to be the best of breed. But you know, you look at it trading at, my system's so dang slow here. I don't know why. I'm trying to give you the multiple, but I mean, it's trading at 50 times earnings. I mean, you got Webull, and I don't think the one issue you're going to have here is, you know, in 100, it's better to look at the market cap, maybe 107 billion, because I don't know if Webull makes money. looking, and I'm long it, but I don't even really go into too much of the fundamental analysis here because I just like the technical setup. So fundies don't matter in the short run, but they do in the long run. I mean, you got a $4 billion valuation. So, but they don't make money. But I mean, you're talking about, Webull having market cap of like 4% of what Robinhood is. Is there room for a catch-up trade here from a fundamental perspective? Maybe. Obviously, here's a beaten down darling name that sets up well into going into the end of the year. Continuing on with this theme of Momo names, and I mean, we probably got to go look. We talked a little bit about Iron, we talked a little about Nebius and those, but these space data center stocks, or you can even say the rocket stocks. Like, look at the moves in ASTS and Rocket Labs. I mean, these moves are huge. ASTS was $50 at the beginning of this month. It's 79. I mean, these moves are happening. Rocket Labs. Look at Rocket Labs. This is an unbelievable December for Rocket Labs. It was $40 at the beginning of the month. We're at like 20. We're like 15 trading days in the month. It's $73. So I don't know. At this point in time, Rocket Labs, if you're coming in now, you are definitely chasing. We were 40 to 73. And when your stock goes up 65 or 75% in 2 weeks, you ring the register and you sell. So I would actually, Rocket Labs, it's not the stock I'm looking for here. For a weekend trade, sure, scalps and stuff. But if you're coming in Rocket Labs now and saying, hey, Momo stock's getting hot, this one has been hot for 2.5 weeks here now.
PL falls in that category too. That's a lower price stock trading up 73 cents. And then someone mentioned RDW.
I don't think Planet. I don't.
No.
So yeah, I don't like these classifications like this. What I would put is Rocket Labs and ASTS are kind of doing their own thing. I know we got the space data center that they're like, okay, well, we're gonna kind of commingle all these. There's still, you could group these a little bit separately here too. So I don't put Planet Labs in with Rocket Labs. I don't have that as that. But I mean, there's obviously a lot of these stocks are all trading together, at least at this point in time, off this whole data center play, BKSY to Black Sky Technology. But these charts all look different, Joel. Like, nothing's moved like Rocket Labs. So I mean, if you're looking for catch-up trades, I probably like the BKSY one a little bit better. I think there's different opportunities here. So it all depends on, are you a fundy trader, or are you just looking for the quick catch-up trade for the Santa Claus rally? Because some of these stocks set up much different. Lunar is a different one. I had a huge day on Friday, got the rating, which we talked about. I don't remember who it was that gave it the buy rating, but I mean, it was a 40%. So I don't know. The stock go up 40% a day. I'm not looking to buy it.
KeyBank initiated coverage on intuitive machines with an overrate rating and a price target of 20. That was before the open on Friday.
Keep this party going here because it's not only a Momo stock like Momo Monday, which it is, it's a tech market here too. So we have NVIDIA with another headline here, Brent Stern. There's not a lot of headlines here this morning, so we better give this one. But NVIDIA is showing a hell of a lot of life here this morning. And what's the headline news?
I see a Reuters report. NVIDIA is planning to ship 40 to 80,000 H200 AI chips to China before mid-February of next year.
And that's kickstarting all the AI stocks here this morning. And Micron just continues to explode. I honestly thought it might be a sell the rip opportunity, but the quarter was just too darn good. When we were analyzing, it was like, holy cow, man. When you're going from guides from $4.50 to $8, it just was so much. Yes, the business is cyclical, but right now it is firing on all cylinders, making new all-time highs, up another $11 here this morning. Its brother-in-law, SanDisk, is looking the same way here, coming up, now trying to get all the losses back that it had from November and moving up as well. And then WDC, not to leave that one out, is trying to make new all-time highs here too. So you have memory just going bananas in the last few months.
Yeah, we were trying to debate whether it was an oracle moment for Micron, right? But definitely whether it was an oracle moment where it made that high on the actual day of the release or all the big news, or was it going to be one of your AMD tricks? Because AMD gapped up and continued going before you got the pullback in the overall market. But right now, Micron busting out new all-time highs, up nearly $11. pre-market high that comes in at 276.76. You're right there right now. Someone pressing it. It's probably over the average daily range in this one. So keep an eye on that pre-market high in Micron. And I don't know what does Kennedy say? 250 get you 275, 275 get you 300.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
where we're at. And Mr. Mexico in the chat's got it right. It's memory prices. They just keep going. DRAM's going. Micron trades off DRAM. The DRAM prices just keep going up. Micron keeps going up here too. It is cyclical though. So the DRAM prices will eventually start to come back down in, and that's going to be when the opportunity probably is to ring the register here in Micron. But stocks making new all-time highs. That's a pretty good thing if you're long.
yep.
Back to Momo. There's so many stocks. Like I can go anywhere here with the Momo names and the tech names, but let's just go big mega cap tech here for a second too, because like I said, it's a tech rally here this morning. NVIDIA and AMD driving the bus. I want to do some quick technicals on AMD because, we've been talking NVIDIA, but we've been forgetting about AMD here. Joel, set this up here because it's interesting that we did bottom 3 days ago, kind of in that same area that we bottomed in late November, like that 197, 198 area. And we're starting to pull up here. I know we're coming into a big technical resistance area too, though.
Yeah, we got a nice bounce. We had the 50% retracement, right? We figured it from this side. What's interesting is and how many times you see stocks trick you like this? They gap up, right? They have the move and they come back and like, you're so convinced this is going to fill the gap, right? Buyers come in. What I really like what's setting up on this chart for potential resistance is you have the 50-day coming in at 230, right at the 230 area, and the 50%, the 50-50 trick. So if you're looking for a target here, you've had the sell-off, caught some people long here, got a couple technical levels, got nowhere near the 200-day. I would say intermediate today. Let's see what happens if we can get through this 224 area. That's still $7 away. I mean, there's been a little bit of I don't know. This has been a little bit of a laggard here, but let's see if AMD can pick. How can I call it a laggard? I mean, the thing was $80 in April. Still been a hell of a run, but
a hell of a run.
Yeah. I like to see it get up. I mean, if I was looking for a target, either from getting stuck on that decline or, looking to lighten up a little bit, I think to take it from a negative perspective, the longer it takes to get back up to that 230 with everything clicking, the high beta in this stock, the other stocks moving, to me, a little just on the recent very short-term rally, lagging a little bit. We'll see if AMD can pick up some steam.
And then just keep going with the mega cap theme here to a certain extent is Oracle. And maybe it's not, it's kind of trying to come its way in the top 10 and then it got murdered, but it's still a huge company here. Have we bottomed in Oracle? Like, is it over? Is the worries over? Because Friday's headline, we held the gap for once. We're gapping up another $5 here again. I mean, if you're just looking, and Tim Seymour may have made the best point on CNBC. He was saying on Fast Money on Friday or Thursday. And he just said, look, if you're buying Oracle here and, you're not worried about the whole balance sheet issue here that they're taking on so much, debt here to finance all this build that they're doing. He's like, you're getting almost the entire AI business of Oracle for nothing because it's given it all back. I mean, this is where we were before we were even talking about Oracle as an AI play. So if you believe that Allison knows what he's doing and not going to over leverage himself where he jeopardizes, the company, it's come all the way back in. This was Tim Seymour saying that. I was like, it's a good point. I mean, if you don't think there's a balance sheet issue here, Oracle probably just gave you the whole AI business part of this for nothing right now because it's come all the way back down. Now, I don't know. Is there a balance sheet issue? Are other companies going to have this issue as well, that people are getting scared of financing these huge projects because these companies are over leveraging themselves? But I mean, the PE, they were talking about making a lot of money. So if they get anywhere near those targets here, Oracle might be one of the best buys out there. I am long a little bit. I'm thinking about adding to it, but I'm scared of the balance sheet too. So there are reasons to be scared here, but there are also reasons to be optimistic. Thoughts, Joel, on the tech?
Couple fundamental takes on this. Number one, besides the financing, people just aren't thrilled with Larry Ellison right now. being super aggressive on the financing for this AI deal. Also getting, still involved. I mean, I don't know, is this Skydance and PKSY and Netflix? I mean, that it seems like he's going back to the well here to get more money for that. So they feel like he's getting overextended. I think other going back to the positive side of Catalyst, they get the TikTok, right? They get the TikTok part of it for that should help their business. And then also, just the overall sentiment with open AI, right? Isn't a open AI supposed to be the one that's going to be giving them, all this business and everything? And I think I don't have it exactly in front of me, but I think people were bumping up the valuations of open AI. So if open AI, the big concern is that if open AI doesn't have the money to pay Oracle for all these data centers, then you do have a problem. You do have a major problem. So a tug of war here. Institutions just have been, you can get particular levels. And if you were just focusing on 185, because that was the major low before you got the bounce, you probably got shook out when it went a little bit below that. But institutions target, I just got to own everything at 185. They're like,
Right.
180, 185, 178.90, just give me
Yeah,
my
6, 7.
yeah. Yep. Give me my amount of shares. And that's what you had, a couple fake outs. So, we focus, we get so focused on the short term and the 185 was the low here and it bounced and it took it out. Now it's going to 160. I mean, that's not the way longer term investors that are building big positions think. They go for days. And the other thing that was really good that Mark Chaikin pointed out to me in the STN room last week, how he has his Chaikin money flow
Yeah.
and how it determines, where the big money, where a stock opens, where it closes, where the institutional money was coming in. And after it being red for the longest time, over the last 2 weeks, the Chaikin money flow has been positive into this stock. So the big boys, are using, whether they're covering shorts or whether they're attempting to go with longs, they're using this liquidity here, and it's more slanted toward the upside. So there's a deep dive into Oracle.
There's probably safer plays out there. I mean, no play in AI is safe because valuations are stretched on so many stocks, but it's been the play. And I think, there's a time here where we've had significant pullbacks in a number of AI names. And at a certain point in time, it's time to start nibbling, like Broadcom, for instance, too. Broadcom has had a hellish December. We were $409 a week and a half ago. We just went down to 320. I mean, you're talking about a 20% fall in 5 days. So, you can say, where's the hellish fall when you look at that bottom right chart? And that's a good point. Maybe we're still overextended. Maybe it's a long more ways to go down. But if you're a short-term trader, like, man, this was 400, it's 340. What do I do now? I don't know. I don't know if I do know, because you could argue both ways. It's breaking now, and maybe, the momentum has slowed here. But also, maybe there's still the play to just these AI plays are going to come back in 2026 and buy the dip might still reign supreme. Maybe this actually should be a question we have for Ivan when he gets in here. Ivan Feinseth is joining us now. He's just getting his camera hooked up here. But I mean, this is the issue with all these stocks. We've had significant pullbacks in a lot of the AI names. And the question is it like the new, like 2026 going to be the year of value and the AI, a lot of companies overextended themselves and it's been pulled forward? Or is 2026 is going to be the year of AI anyways? And we should just be buying the dips on all these names? That's the question I'm going to have for Ivan when he gets his camera here. He's just getting his camera hooked up. So I'll ask you, Joel. How are you positioning? Are you buying any of these things? Looking at
very too
value. You're like me. We're value investors.
I'm tempted in this Oracle. And I was even, where I was even tempted at? I was tempted, for it to fill the gap from that. And it just had so much more downward momentum at the time, right? That it just, I didn't step up in that area. But now, if you're a believer in AI, which I am, I'm moving toward, use my chat GPT this morning and stuff. Yeah, I think of all of them, Oracle, I kind of wish he would just lay off this this whole Skydance thing and just focus on one thing. But
well, and now Larry Allison too, if you want to talk about it. So just before we go to Ivan here, and Ivan is ready to go now, so we'll get there in a second. But this might be a good segue to give Paramount amending its $30 cash offer for Warner Brothers Discovery and WBD. They've been talking relentlessly about it on CNBC because that's all they talk about is Warner Brothers Discovery. I think there's better things to talk about, so I'll bring it in like 36 minutes into the show. But, this amended offer includes an irrevocable personal guarantee of $40 billion from Larry Ellison, who's Oracle's founder, obviously, but Paramount's controlling shareholders. So they're trying to get a hold of WBD. I don't know why everybody wants this asset that badly. I don't get it. I know content is king, and yes, Warner Brothers Discovery is some fantastic content. But to take, the stock from 12 to 30 and a bidding war up here at 30, wouldn't have been a hell of a lot better to have a bidding war back at 15, 16, 18? I mean, I feel like everybody's overpaying for this asset. So there's Larry Ellison again throwing around four. So there's an Oracle issue here. There's Larry Ellison. I know it's his own personal money, but he's throwing around $40 billion. I mean, these guys have so much money, they're just throwing it at everything. So I don't really like the fact that Larry Ellison's, now going to $40 billion personally guarantee trying to get this asset away from Netflix. I want to bring Ivan into this conversation. Let's hit that guest intro. See what Ivan has to say about this.
good morning, Ivan Feinseth.
How's it going? Happy holidays. Great to see you.
Yeah. Where was your 2026 or 2025 target, Ivan?
7,000 on the S&P. 7,000.
Well,
this
we still got
pretty
some
good.
time.
This guy's pretty good.
Yeah, I would say 69.50.
It's not bad.
I just pick a round number just because it would be arrogant to have like some kind of. I laugh when some analysts have price targets on stocks like I may say 50 or 55 and they have like 52.50 or 53. It's kind of a moving target, but I started the year bullish and we are ending the year strong. I mean, the market is up nicely for the year. And my 26 target is 79.50. So I think that this momentum is going to continue. But getting to Warner Brothers Discovery, yeah, Dennis, the stock was like $10, $12 for a year. It sat there and nobody cared. All of a sudden, now we have a bidding war and it triples the stock. And it's just, it's almost like, I think a lot of these bidding wars are caused by some of the competitors that they want the end result that whoever wins loses. At some point, you pay so much for the asset that you can't make any money. I mean, we saw that years ago with the time Kraft wanted to buy Cadbury. And then, Hershey threw in their hat and raised and bid up the price that ended up Kraft had to pay more for it. And I said back then, look, it becomes a losing proposition. But like what you say, and I say this about Disney all the time, that content is king and Disney is the king of content. And not only are they the king of content, but they are the king of theme parks and themed cruise lines and licensing and toys. And so if you love Warner Brothers, you got to love Disney. And while they've kind of fallen a little behind in Netflix and streaming, they have a tremendous streaming platform. And they have a tremendous content library, both owning two of the most powerful and world's most valued and loved franchise content, Star Wars and the Marvel Universe. But they have so much old content that is still valid today. I was in Burbank in April of 2019 when at the event that Bob Iger introduced Disney Plus, the streaming studio service, which was obviously fortuitous as we went into lockdown, as COVID came in November of 19, and we kind of went into lockdown in the beginning of 2020, and all people had to do was watch streaming services. But he said he had just taken his grandchildren to see the original, or he watched with his grandchildren to see the original Cinderella that his grandparents took him 2 when he was a child. And he said 5 generations of the Iger family have watched this same movie. So their content is timeless. And, they're not worried about recovering the cost of the original Cinderella movie. They've already, gotten it. It's done very well for them. So the fact that they have this old, timeless content, and they continue to put out new content. I won't really go into the issue that I felt Disney may have made the bad left turn down the woke area, but I think that the Marvel universe, the Star Wars universe, and just a lot of the content that they have is still blockbuster content. I think 7 of the 10 most highest grossing movies of all time are are Disney owned content. So, and then
sticking on this theme, okay, of major media M&A disasters, do we have to go any farther than AOL Time Warner, AT&T with a Time Warner, Disney Fox, Viacom CBS, News Corp MySpace, Yahoo, I mean, is there ever been a space where large acquisitions taking on these kind of companies with these kind of debt, could there be a worse space to do this in?
It has been surprising that you would have thought from the beginning. The idea behind, AOL Time Warner was a way of trying to save AOL from the fact that it was just an empty shell. But you would think that content, and distribution would go hand in hand, because you can't have content without distribution, and you can't have distribution without content, or you're staring at a blank screen. But for whatever reason, no company has ever benefited from it. The merger of content and distribution. It's surprising, but it continues to happen. And we know that those who do not learn from the past are doomed to repeat it. So,
all right. So let's go from the old to the new, and that's AI. Give us your core view here on AI. What, potential sector had some good performance, hit some bumps. Where's AI fit into your 2026 investment plan?
It is the driver of everything. We are the first inning in a very long game. This is a once in a century game changer. This is the new industrial revolution. It's affecting and will affect every aspect of our lives, both personally, professionally, business. It is, as I said, about last April, I went to 2 Walmart fulfillment centers that have been fully automated, and it is incredible how they have reduced pick, pack, and ship fulfillment time from 3 to 4 hours to 30 minutes. They have custom box making machines that scan all of the products that are being picked for an order and make a custom box that fits perfectly all of the items that are being shipped. So they have no wasted space in the boxes, on the trucks. It just makes their fulfillment capabilities and shipping so much more efficient. It brings down costs, and that's what it's going to do in every industry. In the cruise industry, it's optimizing prices, optimizing customer experience, optimizing supply chains. It's used and will increasingly be used to optimize pretty much everything, creating a more efficient market and more efficient pricing, and bringing down costs. And I just 2 weeks ago, I was at the Rivian Autonomy and AI event, and you saw the recent pop in Rivian. They are developing their own processors and their own software stack to power their self-driving capabilities that will eventually go to full autonomy. And imagine you could be able to use your own Rivian car as your own, let's say, rideshare service within your family or for friends, or even if you wanted to use it for business. But imagine you could be coming in from a trip and you going to the airport, and you could have your own car come and pick you up rather than using a Lyft or Uber.
Okay, so you have the AI. The big debate now has been like the build out, right? It's Oracle. Are these companies spending too much money? Like there's always plays, right? There's the AI play, there's the direct plays, but there's the picks and the shovels, right? There's the data centers that are needed. Is there, energy? We need so much energy. How much, where talk to us about your infrastructure build-out, please.
Well, I think it's long overdue, but we are finally developing nuclear capabilities. Nuclear is the power of the future. Sadly, it had a negative outlook years ago in the late 80s and 90s, but the late 70s and 80s. But now we are waking up to the fact that it's a safe, renewable, minimally impacting source of energy, and it can be created in abundance. And we will need a lot of power. We will need power for we should have been all electric with cars years ago, but we didn't have the electric infrastructure, the power grid, and the charging capabilities. And I think that's one thing that has delayed the adoption of EVs, because we need more charging capabilities, faster charging capabilities, but that will come, and it will all be from nuclear power. So data center, yes, everybody said, oh, the amount of power. And the problem is in China, they are adapting nuclear power very rapidly. I mean, we will have to streamline. I mean, the permitting process can take 7 years here, where in China it could take 7 months. It's just that is the benefit of an authoritative government, but still, we will have to ramp up nuclear development. I was watching when Trump was signing the executive order to facilitate the acceleration of nuclear development. The CEO of Oklo, Jake DeWitt, was just standing by him at his desk. It was great to see, and that's Oklo has had a tremendous run, and I think the pullback here is a buying opportunity in that, and things like GE Vernova, and look, Constellation Energy, which owns 3 Mile Island, is reopening 3 Mile Island, and Microsoft has committed to buying all the power from its one remaining reactor.
Let's talk about the impact on productivity and GDP versus the potential negative impact on the workforce here. We got the rising unemployment. We're not talking about interest rates anymore, right? We could, AI is going to take everything. Talk about that delicate balance.
Well, I think that AI will create 2 jobs for everyone it eliminates, and it's going to be a better job and a higher paying job, but we will have to go through this transition. And as I said, at the Walmart fulfillment center, I went to the frozen fulfillment center, where it is maintained at 15 degrees below zero. And for years you had workers. I went in to the freezer. I could only stay 5 minutes with the hat and coat and gloves that they gave me. But used to have people working 8-hour shifts with breaks inside the frozen area. Now those same people are outside monitoring screens and have tablets. So they became much more advanced, higher paying, more enjoyable jobs. Same thing in the warehouses, where people used to have to manually lift, carry, pick, pack, and ship everything. They're just overseeing the automation process. And Walmart has committed $1 billion in AI training, specifically for AI training for their employees, to evolve their jobs from a more manual labor focused position to a more tech focused position.
Like robotics is going to be, and that brings us into robotics really here, Ivan. I mean, we touched on a lot of things. Maybe we should touch on robotics as well. There's not a lot of pure play great robotic stocks, but there's so many that are going to be in it. Like I think a Tesla is a robotics company, which I think you'd agree with.
When I was at the Walmart facility, this is all being done by primarily Symbotic, SYM.
That's why I was
looking at the stock, and it was like $20, and it has ran from 20 to 80. But Symbotic is a company that automates the infrastructure in a lot of these warehouses and factories.
Yeah, I actually recently just bought Symbotic in my long-term account for the same reason. It just pulled back from 80 to 60. I'm a big believer that, I know we've been talking about ChatGPT and OpenAI. I really think 2026 is going to be the year where we talk more about physical AI, though.
Yes.
Like where they're coming in, maybe Tesla leads that charge. Maybe it's, other companies, like obviously they're doing a lot of things in China as well. Baidu's been a big part of that too. But what other robotics plays do you like? So Symbotic's, I think, a good one, because I actually say it, and I just recently bought it. What other robotic stocks do you like?
Well, I have to start drilling deeper down into that. Symbiotic is the name that it comes to mind first. It's one of the ones people think about. Then we, of course, like Tesla's Optimus robots, but then ever since we all were kids, we all dreamed about having our own robot.
Yeah, C-3PO, R2-D2 chasing me around, doing all my labor for me, taking out the garbage.
We've been going back to the TV show Lost in Space with that robot.
Yeah. When is that going to happen? When are we actually going to have, like, maybe it's an Optimus, maybe it's something else? Do you think in the next 5 years?
Elon says next year.
I think he's you know how he is with his timelines. He comes up with stuff.
I know.
I don't think we're going to see it next year.
God bless him. It will come. We've seen we've seen all the videos of the dancing robots. And by the way, I don't think the Rockettes will be replaced by dancing robots. But anyway,
there's a question for you too. Is with content being king and people paying so much for Warner Brothers Discovery here, how much content's going to eventually be replaced by AI? Are they going to be able to make better movies than Disney?
Well,
are they going to be able to make better, content? Like, I mean, there's a question for yourself as well.
Just look at the fact that Disney has now invested $1 billion in OpenAI to use their Sora video content creation platform, which is pretty incredible. But I'm going to still say that creativity, cognitive thought, I still think that's the way far away from AI replicating. And I say at least comedy writers will always have a job, because I don't find that computers have a sense of humor.
Aren't that funny?
No, computers are not that funny.
Before we let you go, Ivan, your year-end target at 7,950. Why don't you just go 8,000?
I don't know. There, I like to have something. I hope. I'm bullish, and I hope that as we get halfway through the year or 3/4 as we get close, I'll raise it slightly. I did begin my 25 target at 6,800 and raised it to 7,000. Okay. So I figure that's 7,950 is a good number.
Okay, Ivan Feinseth, we have enjoyed your input for so many years now. CIO, Director of Research at Tigress Financial Partners, guiding us through
that target, Joel. He almost got that spot on. He might get it. We're 50 handles away. He might get it spot on.
We'll see what we can do. Ivan, thank
you very much. Happy holidays to you and all of your audience.
Okay,
thanks,
thank
Ivan.
you. All right, that was fun, man.
He's been bullish, but he's been right. That's why I like to ask him his robotics play. I like that he said SYM, his first one that came to him, because that's fun. So we did this brainstorm in Stock Trader Network about a week and a half ago. We're talking about physical AI, where we go, and somebody had brought up Symbiotic, and I obviously knew about the company, but I went and did a bunch of homework, and I'm like, you know what? This one's going to be involved in a lot of things here, SYM, and that's why I recently just bought it. It's right here. I buy like 61, so I'm like right here, where I just bought it about a week ago on my long-term account, because I think so. I think we got to start thinking about physical AI. I know like some people like Rich Tech Robotics. There's some smaller ones here, and I've been trading those things, and they're fun. I had it over the weekend. It was a fun weekend trade again as well. But I don't know, you get these small cap companies, you don't know which ones of these are going to survive. So Tesla's probably, going to be a player here. But the question is who's the number twos, who's number threes, who's the number four? Bring us back to the Rivian conversation, because you think about physical AI, you think about robots, but it's also self-driving cars. I mean, that's going to be a huge thing. Autonomy, I think that's coming very soon, and it's obviously already here in the form of Waymo. Rivian recently had its investors or AI day, and they were talking about having full autonomous, or at least moving into their autonomy, by the end of 2026. Like, these Rivians are going to be driving themselves. And I mean, the trucks are awesome. I never really thought about Rivian as, being a number two here in autonomy, but maybe it has the potential to be there, at least in EV, like autonomous EV. Rivian has a clear path here, especially with Ford getting rid of the Lightning. They can't find a way to make money. They're sticking with their gas guzzlers here. I mean, let's be honest. Ford's kind of just done everything wrong. They could have been on this a long time ago. People will tell me, oh, they have Ford Blue. It can drive itself on the highway. What that is enhanced cruise control. That's all that is.
Yeah.
I mean, you start getting into city driving, that Ford Blue can't do anything for you.
Nope.
So people who are saying that Ford is only 6 months behind Tesla, I believe don't know what they're talking about. I mean, this has been a huge issue. But Rivian here is investing in this autonomy. They're looking at, obviously coming here. And I mean, the trucks are sexy as hell. You compare a Rivian truck to a Cybertruck, and it's, no comparison
So
at all.
much
The Rivian
better
trucks
looking.
look great.
Yeah. Yep.
So I actually did take Rivian long it's hard. I bought this like 3 days ago. And I'm like, I'm up 20% in 3 days. And I'm like, I don't even know, like,
forget
you
it.
get 20%. It's quick to get that game. This was going to be, I was buying this as one of my 2026 picks. Now it's run so far. I'm like, can I sell it and re-get it? Maybe there's a case of that. But
don't try that. Don't get tricky.
3 days
Don't get
nice.
tricky with it. Don't get tricky with it. It's been so. We haven't even talked Bitcoin yet. Like we talk about momentum, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about things that have sold off or pulled back. We've been Bitcoin. I mean, just stepping up here at 85K, looking perky, way below the 50, way below the 200 here. So Bitcoin, I can look at our Bitcoin stocks and have a something here from Hive.
We do want to say thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Hive Digital Technologies, brought to you by, or bringing you PreMarket Prep. Thank you, Hive, a global leader in green power data centers for Bitcoin mining, high performance computing, and AI. Operating with nearly 0.5 gigawatt of renewable energy, Hive is on track to capture 3% of the world's Bitcoin production by the end of this year. Just a couple weeks away now. There is a QR code in the bottom right corner on screen right now. You can scan that to get over to Hive's website. There's also a link in the description of this YouTube video. Thanks again to Hive Digital Technologies.
I mean, let's talk Bitcoin here. And I do think like this recent life in all the Momo names is really because Bitcoin is trying to put in a hardcore bottom here, Joel. Like we have bottomed here and we have focused on this area. And if you look at the top right chart, you'll see the area we're talking about. Maybe you could just like blow it up here a little bit more. But I mean, right there, this whole 85,000 area in Bitcoin, it's trying, it's holding. You could call it a triple bottom, a quad bottom, but that level is just supportive support. Now, if that gets breached and we lose that low, and we've been back from the day of like November the 21st, if we lose that low, Katie bar the door, Bitcoin's in trouble. But as long as that low is holding, there's these Bitcoin bulls out here that are saying, hey, the low for the, this move might be in, and I want to get back because I know Bitcoin's coming back eventually. I'm holding. I think it comes back eventually too.
Yeah, I bet similar setup here. That did get the death cross back up a little bit higher in December here, but I think the one thing, we talk about, major bottoms and, major tops, like look at all that support at 85 now and all that resistance at 95. Sometimes it's just the consolidations, right? Just being in patient, waiting for the consolidation, because you catch a strong 95 bid here. Look out, right? Not much here. Triple digits. I'm sure some people have some shorter term targets. Oh God, if this gets back to 100, I thought I was going to sell it 100K the first time, but it went 125 and then I missed it on the way down. So there's psychological levels here, but a consolidation station here in Bitcoin futures.
Jay wanted to talk ISRG, which you're right. ISRG has been into robotics for years. This has been, obviously does your surgeries with the help, so with robotics there, allows doctors to even operate remotely in some cases here. Intuitive Surgical has been an incredible robotics company here for a very long time. So you're right. But they're doing their own thing, Intuitive Surgical. Stocks right near all-time highs, so there's another robotics play for you too. But I don't feel like this is like a new one. Like this is one that's going to change. This is something that has been there for a long time. And it's been a great company for a long time.
Okay, we are coming up on 9 a.m. We'll see. We're a day and a half. So what's this? A synthetic Tuesday afternoon or something like that?
I don't know. You're getting all this synthetic stuff, Joel, and yeah, it gets confusing here. So
all right,
I
won't give you that, but I'll give you. We had one good analyst on today, just to preview, just to let you guys know if you think you're going Christmas shopping instead of watching pre-market prep. We got Craig Johnson coming on tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
director of technical research at Piper Jaffray. And then if you bring one bullish guy on Monday, and then you bring another bullish guy on Tuesday, who could be the most bullish guy to bring on Wednesday, Christmas Eve day? And you only get, I know you hate guessing games. So
I hate guessing
Brett,
games.
okay. Brett, where are you? Where are you? We got one bullish guy.
Looked.
We got two bullish
He just
guys.
looked, so he knows.
I know.
Don't look. All right, to chat. We are not. No, Dan Nathan. No, not the cow
Steve
guy.
got it.
There we
Steve
go.
got it.
Martin Contreras, Ryan Dietrich joining us. I don't know. I'm gonna have to
Man,
me and Ryan. Dennis, you're gonna have to. You might have to handle that interview. I don't know. I'm still licking my wounds. Oh, you didn't see what he was tweeting after the Michigan Ohio State game?
I
and then
know.
all this other Michigan
He
stuff?
really was rubbing it in and laughing at Michigan, and Joel's really angry.
And now it's even gotten worse. But
He's
you know what?
really angry.
Yeah, we won't talk Michigan
Joel was
football.
like gonna ban him from the show. Actually, it got that much.
No,
I intervened for you, Ryan. We will never ban you from the show, no matter what you say about Michigan ball.
Okay, folks, thanks for joining us this Monday, holiday week, pre-market prep.